You won't see any of this.
Yeah.
Blame him if you do.
All right. The Rock and Ryan Reynolds, I thought was a good.
On paper, it does sound like a good team.
It really was.
Yeah, then you throw on Gal Gadot.
Yeah. There was like the double agent. It's a double agent, a triple agent. You didn't know who was the bad guy, who was screwing over everybody. The jokes were there with Ryan Reynolds and The Rock. I mean, you got two people that can do action and comedy movies, and they put those two together, and you just had.
I heard is like what Gal Gadot ended up being the major crime boss, and The Rock was working with her or something like that.
They were. I don't know if they were husband and wife, but they were definitely boyfriend and girlfriend. Rock was actually a bad guy in this film, but he sold him being such a good guy that
it's just like you would think he would be, because he's never really the bad guy.
Exactly, and that's why that was a good hidden treat. Was that how many films has you seen The Rock in that he was a bad guy? None. Was he a jerk or something?
I mean, you'd have to go back to Doom, I guess.
Was he a bad guy?
Well, he wasn't outright the bad guy, but he became the bad guy by the end of the movie just because he was how hard-nosed.
So then they took the blueprint for Doom, because that's what they did. This whole film, knowing his track record, he was a good guy. In the film, he was a good guy that you didn't see until the very end, that they revealed, like, oh no, he is part of the crime boss. And they're actually not even crime bosses. They're just really good
masterminds.
Yeah, because somebody paid them billions of dollars to steal these eggs. And
yeah, I know about the eggs. They ruined Survivor Series in the next 2 weeks overall.
We gotta stop. That gotta stop.
Stop watching WWE. I know. Jesus Christ.
But that is my number 5.
My number 4 is Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City, and if you have followed us under any length of time, that shouldn't be a surprise to you. I love Resident Evil. I love everything they did in this movie. I fanboyed out for everything. I even like the little changes they made by not having Wesker be the bad guy immediately. It kept us fans who know the story and everything a little bit off kilt. So we couldn't expect everything because some things were different. I love the fact that Lisa Trevor was more like an anti-hero kind of deal, I guess. A good character. And the fact that she wasn't outright good, she found a friend in Claire. And she bodied a liquor, and one of the best moments in the movie is Lisa beating down that liquor. If this movie could actually legitimately been number 1 if they didn't treat Leon like a joke. That's the only thing that put it back to 4, was they treated Leon like a joke.
When you're making
Stop hating Leon.
When you're making a list like this, and because you're picking all the movies you enjoy, it's going to come down to.
Oh yeah, 4 through 1 are razor thin. And honestly, that was the thing that set this movie at 4, was Leon being a joke.
My number 4 is Fair Street 1994.
I'm going to remain quiet throughout this.
Yes, he's going to, because he's got a lot more to talk about. Wow, I just got to say that I'm an R.L. Stine fan. Love his books. I know about Fair Street series, Goosebumps, everything, you name it. This film for me brought like the slasher genre back to life. And because Justin's going to say more, I'm just going to leave it like that, because we'll talk about it in a little bit, in a few minutes. But wow, Fair Street 1994 was, I think we both gave it either A or...
I gave it an A when I gave a review on it, because of when I watched 1994 was before the other ones came out, and I had like varying thoughts about it. But the big thing that hurt these movies for me is, for God's sakes, it sounded like someone just turning the radio station. Just every moment there's another song blaring at you. It's like, calm down, turn off the radio.
But nevertheless, it was a.
But I'll talk more about Fear Street.
It was a great film, and number 4. That's mine. Your number 3.
My number 3, The Suicide Squad. Now, how about that? A dark, mature comic book movie that's actually fun to watch. Who the fuck knew that was possible?
This was a forgotten one on mine, or else it probably would have been on my list too.
Margot Robbie is still amazing as Harley. You had some excellent additions in Ratcatcher number 2. John Cena's the Peacemaker.
Oh, we gotta,
And
we gotta have
I
time
just,
to
oh no,
review.
that's this Thursday.
Yeah.
I
okay.
just, all those, Bloodsport. Those
Oh,
two,
yeah,
those two had such
the
good chemistry.
rival-
The rivalry
That
between
was
them.
insane with them. How are you better? I just make smaller bullets.
Just make small bullets. My bullets shoot through your bullets.
And then in the end, that's how he won. That's how it. James Gunn, what can you say about?
Oh, good lord, this movie was a ride. And they even made Flag likable. You cared about his death. Like when he died, it hit you.
Yeah, he was almost
Because
like a forgotten character.
He was a crap character in the first one. But in this movie, they redeemed him to the point that you cared.
Yeah. That I have no
Like I said,
complaints. I have no complaints on that film.
It's a dark, mature comic book movie that was enjoyable to watch at the same time.
DC can give you a hit every once in a while. They just stay consistent. They're on the right track with this one, but
I think they're. It's so hard because Wonder Woman 2 was bad.
yeah, that was kind of a letdown. Definitely because Wonder Woman was so good, but so I'm gonna just breeze by my 3 and 2 real quick because we have already talked about them. Number 3 on my list is Ghostbusters. I thought it was a good passing with torch. I love the cast. I love the callback. I love the farewell. The only probably knock is it could have had more actual ghost busting, but because they were building up characters, I appreciated what they did instead. My number 2 is Cruella. Basically, we talked about it. Everything that we loved about it, what we're looking forward to seeing in the future regarding it. I'm not going to repeat. But number 2 was my Cruella.
Now, my number 2, his number 1,
Yep.
is Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh my god.
This movie did everything right.
Everything.
Right.
Everything.
They gave you the highs, the nostalgia pops, the crushing emotional scenes, bittersweet ending. Because it was bitter, in fact,
Comedy.
the comedy.
Comedy. Throwing bread at Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Dude, the tingle thing. I have the tingle thing, just not for bread.
It's not for bread.
Then
It jumps up on the ceiling. Crawl around. No, I'm not crawling.
is this not enough? No, I gotta see. I'm pretty sure this is enough. The back and forth chemistry with all of the Spider-Man.
You had the Spider-Man pointing scene between Andrew and Toby.
Yeah, the Avengers. Is that a band? Were you a band? My God, like.
They didn't just rely on the comedy scenes. Like I said, the bittersweet ending. Like Peter's alone now,
Yeah.
but it gave you hope because this is where you can really bring in the Fox people, your Black Cats, your Kraven the Hunters, especially Black Cat because he's rebounding now from
Yeah, MJ.
MJ, and this is perfect for Alicia to step in.
Yeah. And they left it, of course they made the most classic version of the suit.
Yeah.
At the very end which was
The red and blue.
Yep.
And they showed how to implement multiple villains in a good way.
Yeah.
Alfred Molina and William Dafoe.
Oh my god.
Slade. I thought Molina did a little better as Doc Ock, but
I love when he's talking to his tentacles during the bridge fight scene. He's like, "We got competition." The Green Goblin, William Dafoe. What can you say about
you got redemption stories with Electro actually having a character. Andrew Garfield.
And a shout out to Miles Morales. I thought you were black.
Oh, I thought Miles was coming.
Yeah,
when he made that line, I'm like, Miles is coming. That was our chance. They missed it.
Yeah. But, this is why it's my number 1. Is like there's just so
Andrew Garfield benefited hugely.
Yeah, I love the redemption part.
With him saving MJ in the manner he couldn't save Emma. Or,
when I went on Saturday night, date night 2, and the crowd was like, like you knew he was going to save her, but people were just like, which way was he going? Was he going to do this way that he was originally trying to do and not use his web? And sure enough, he got his redemption. There was never between these 3. There was never a bad Spider-Man.
No, all through
they
gotta bring Holland back.
Yeah. now that the multiverse is in movies, if Sony wanted to be Amazing Spider-Man 3, I don't know if they will do.
I know there's a petition for it. But,
yeah,
you know, petition.
But at the same time, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, he never got a send off either.
Oh, I'm moved on.
Yeah, that's the thing.
On.
But Andrew was definitely a selling point. When Tobey showed up on screen, it was more like a homage. And even when he redeemed Tom Holland's Spider-Man from killing, stopping him from killing the Green Goblin, you seem like it was a passing of a torch. He's like, don't fall in the same mistakes. Movie did everything right. And that was my number one, and it's killing at the box office still.
Yeah.
I mean, it does not seem to be slowing down. Let's go with your truly number one.
My number one, you might think this is cheap, I don't care. It's the Fear Street trilogy. It took number one back in July when it came out, and it held that spot forever. This movie, like you were saying, Fear Street, like 1994, was it 78? And then 1666.
Yeah.
They come together and form the perfect puzzle. It is amazing storytelling, cliffhangers that get you excited for what's coming up. In 1994, what I didn't want to talk about originally was I hated so many of those characters in 94 after I watched it the first time. I'm like, I only want Sam to live, the rest of you fuck off. But by the end of 2, like, you start pulling for everyone. Like, yeah, get them! Figure this out.
Yeah.
Save Sam. But then it's like, and then the reveal in 1666 that it's not only the chief and his bloodline who's been doing this, but he's involved. And it's like, I thought he was going to be the hero. What is happening?
It blew Justin's mind.
Yeah, they sold me a ticket. They had me hooked. I couldn't. Fear Street trilogy was amazing. All 3 of them.
And I didn't have no problem with the trilogy as a whole. The only thing I hated
I'll
was...
say best trilogy ever. You heard me, Star Wars fans. You heard me. They didn't stumble at the finish line.
That is
like
true.
Return of the Jedi did.
Most film series do stumble on the 3rd film, and that's the big letdown. But I don't have no problem with the trilogy. The only thing I hate was like it came out 2 weeks after each other. I would have milked that.
No, don't milk it. Strike when the iron's hot.
Well, they sure did.
You weren't coming out
Crisis was back in July. It seemed like it was longer ago how much it really was.
Because this has been a nightmare of a year.
That is true.
It was coming out on Netflix. What are you dragging it out for? You're not saving a box office.
That is true. But that is our best of 2021.
Fear Street trilogy. Bam.
Spider-Man. Until next time.
Bye-bye.